forward on this computer. All right, looks like we are good to go. All right, so today we are going to go over the Echo Show 8. For those of you that were in the training a while ago, just to learn about the capabilities of it, you'll see that I kind of based this training off of the same concept. So things that I had introduced initially, we'll be able to look at again. If you weren't in the other training, that's fine. I will be sending over like step-by-step instructions for the other training and for this one as well. But we're just going to focus on really what we went over there without going too crazy and enabling, you know, all the features the thing is really capable of, and just focusing on ones that I think would be of value to start. So I will go through this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll go at the end and you can ask me anything you have. And again, I will be sending this over as a presentation for you all. It will be on YouTube as well. And then there will be step-by-step instructions typed out so that you all can look back and kind of follow them very easily. So let me share my screen. All right. So everyone can see this, correct? Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to minimize everyone. So if you are raising your hand or anything, I won't see, but Michelle, you can just shout out and let me know.
Okay.
All right. So, all right, again, we will be going over the Echo Show 8. So our overview today is that we are going to explore the following: how to set up the Amazon Echo Show 8 for others, how to connect to the Wi-Fi, enabling select Alexa skills, troubleshooting and resources, and then any questions or answers, again, at the end we can go through. All right, so how to set up an Amazon Echo Show 8 at their home. So if you are able to go to someone else's home, or you are able to even just stand outside or go in the garage or whatever you're doing, this is just going to go through how to do it with them and then how to do it away from them if you need to send it to them, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So when you're at their home, you're going to plug in the power adapter into the power outlet. Very obvious way to start. And then you're going to plug in the adapter into the back of the device. Once on, the device will walk you through a variety of prompts, including the following: language, Wi-Fi, Amazon account, time zone, address, location of device, and wallpaper. Sorry, mine's going to keep talking back there. One in the room's listening to me. Hang on one second. I see maybe there's a message for me. Okay. No worries. And then don't forget to download the Alexa app on the mobile device to sync contacts. So that's going to be really important to be able to enable some of the features that we are going to speak about today. Now, if you're doing this from your home, you're going to plug in the power adapter into the power outlet and then into the back of the device. So same first step process there. Again, a very obvious one. You're going to tap the screen and select your language. You're going to select your Wi-Fi name and enter your password and then tap done. Now, important to note is type the user's Amazon account email and password and then type sign in or tap sign in. Confirm the time zone and tap continue to complete the setup. If the user does not have an Amazon account, you can create one for them by clicking on that underlined word that says create. And if the user has happened to forget their Amazon account information where it says click here, just click on that and that will take you to an area in which you can reset the password. Again, we are going to continue here with at your home. So you are setting this up away from them. Swipe down from the top of the device's screen and tap settings. You're going to select network. Again, I don't have one of these in front of me, so I can't show you this like in a video form, but these will be your step-by-step instructions. Scroll down and tap add a network under preferences. Type in the name of their network, so their Wi-Fi name, the users. Tap the drop-down arrow under security, and then you're going to select this variety of letters here. And then type the password under Wi-Fi password and then save. So by the time this device is going to get to them, Everything's going to be so that they just have to plug it in. It will be able to connect directly to their Wi-Fi. It will be connected to their Amazon account, but you obviously need to be able to get this information from them ahead of time, including the Amazon information and also the Wi-Fi. Oh my God, I saw something come through. These are free accounts. Okay, yeah, Pete said these are free accounts if someone asks. This does not require Prime membership. Hang on, my things. 1 second. Alexa.
Working from home.
Okay, I unplugged one of the 3, so hopefully that helps. It was giving me the news. Oh man. All right, now, so we've taken it from our home and we're back to their home. So if you didn't have that opportunity initially, say at step 1, to be at their place, you're obviously going to go ahead and set it up at your place for them. And then you're going to bring it to them, whether that be dropping it out front, outside, being able to go in, or just handing it to them and saying, here's what you need to do. So you're going to unplug and package the device. Once at the destination, you're going to plug in the included power adapter into the power outlet and then into the back of the device. So again, same first step. They will need to enter their Amazon account password for security purposes. So if it is something you have reset for them, or they need a reminder of, just be sure to go ahead and let them know so that when they're entering it, when prompted, when they plug it in, they'll be able to log into the Amazon account. Again, a reminder here is don't forget to download the Alexa app on their mobile device to sync contacts. Again, that is very important to be able to do some of the features that we are going to talk about. And if you have created an Amazon account for them, download the app as well, the Amazon app. So the Alexa app and the Amazon app. All right, a few quick tips here. So when you are speaking to the device, say the name, pause for a moment, and then speak. If you don't pause between saying Alexa and your request, the device may not catch what you're saying. Give the device a moment to process what you are saying. Once you have spoken to your device, give it a moment, and then just remember that your device is operating off of Wi-Fi. So sometimes it does take a second. And when looking at the device, different color bars across the bottom do mean different things. So if you are setting this up for someone else and you come across one of these, it's just good to know what each of them means. So blue, processing your request. Red, the microphone or camera is off. Orange, there's a connectivity issue, so maybe something with the Wi-Fi itself. And then purple means do not disturb is activated. And we'll talk about do not disturb in a couple minutes as we go through this. Okay, so being able to enable that voice and video call. I think that this is something that's really important. We obviously want to be able to stay connected with the people that are going to be using these devices. So this is really just going to teach you from the standpoint of how to set it up for them. And then in the other presentation, which I am going to provide again for everyone who wasn't able to attend the other one, it's just going to explain how the user can go ahead and use these features, meaning, how to make that video or how to make that voice call. Hang on 1 second. I saw a message come through.
Yeah, Fran is asking, when you say download,
Yep.
are you talking about to the show or to a mobile device? Then you mean a mobile device.
I do mean the mobile device. Yep, to the phone. All right, so on the left here, this is going to be a recording of my phone screen. On the right, it will just walk you through exactly what I'm doing on the phone screen. So we're going to open that app we've downloaded on our phone. On the bottom, we're going to tap communicate. It's going to be a little chat bubble. You are going to type add number. Type in the user's phone number, not yours, the user's, and click continue. And then a one-time password will be sent to the device. You're going to enter that one-time password and tap continue. Now their contacts are sunk with the device and with the app itself. So they will be able to make those video and voice calls, connecting with yourself, connecting with friends and family. And again, the other presentation is going to show you how to explain to the user to be able to do it, what prompts to say, and different things like that. Hang on, I saw another message come through. Yeah, that is, Cheryl, that is a good point. If they have more than one Alexa device in close proximity, they can name the Echo Show Echo. I didn't put how to do that in here, but that is certainly something I can include in like the step-by-step instructions. I have 3 in my tiny apartment, and 1 is named Amazon and 2 are named Echo. Usually the one that is nearest to me will respond to me. But yes, if if you do have multiple ones, that is a good tip to not confuse the devices. Okay, so next we're going to go over, I'm going to pause this. Alexa connections. This is basically just meaning that someone will be able to drop in and have that connection with somebody. So for example, for myself, my grandmother and my mom and my brother-in-law are allowed to drop in on my device. So often like my nephew will drop in or my grandma will pop in just to say hi. I can check on her. I can pop in at any given time just to see what's going on, see how things are. And again, in the other presentation, this will go through really the different opportunities you have with this option. Something that's great is you can kind of go ahead and almost like set up a routine, if you will, so that you're able to maybe connect with a loved one or a friend and family member every Wednesday at 1 p.m. or every Sunday evening, and you guys can have dinner together. So it is a pretty nice feature. And then again, being able to kind of see that person face to face. I saw another message come through. Yes, they should also have separate names to use the drop-in feature. Right, Pete. All right, so on the right-hand side again, my phone screen. So this is done on my phone. And then I'll go ahead and read off what we're doing here. So first step, as always, we'll open the Alexa app. We're gonna tap communicate at the bottom again. Tap my communication settings under the name. Under permissions, turn the slider to allow drop-in. That's right here. When drop-in is enabled, you and your household members can instantly connect your Echo devices for video and voice conversations. So you are going to click OK. And then again, when you go ahead and you tap over that slider here, light blue will mean that it is on or allowed, and the dark blue or no fill, so that background color, will mean that it's off or not allowed. So drop-in permissions must be enabled to use this specific feature. All right, so next we're going to look at how to enable an emergency contact. Something to just keep in mind that I do feel is very important at that this is not a substitution for 911. Obviously, your device actually cannot call 911, but this is a great thing to be able to have, that if something does happen to you, you can say, call my emergency contact. I need assistance, call X, Y, and Z. This is a nice option. I know, Michelle, you've mentioned this before. I think you said your daughter is like your contact, and she also has some other features too that you had touched on at one point in time. But this is great. This can be changed at any time by following the above steps that we're going to go through, and tapping manage next to their name. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to get this set up specifically. So we're going to open that app, and then you're going to tap. Oh, hold on, something was open. All right, we're going to tap communicate, so that bottom little chat bubble right here. I know it's hard to see with that slider there. You're going to tap the 3 dots on the top right. Emergency contact will be at the bottom. And then you should have a list. So my brother was already set up as my emergency contact, but any of your contacts from syncing the device and your phone number should be listed within here. And then when you select that person, just going to tap on their name. This is a good example of if you would like to change it. So obviously, like I said, my brother was already connected in here. So if you do ever need to change it, there's that manage button right there for you to be able to go ahead and change, who the contact is. So an example of something you could say, like I mentioned before, Alexa, call for help, and she will call my brother. once I click on the person, I'll be able to select their phone number. So I obviously have his cell phone number in here. And then if I'd like to remove him, you see that option at the bottom as well. So again, I think this is something that's relatively, if not very important, to have set up for somebody if they do need help, if they maybe have fallen, if somebody is trying to get in their home, you know, a variety of things, anything that you would use somebody as an emergency for. Again, not a substitute for 911. See a chat. No, it will call their cell phone, Fran. So it will go right to my brother's cell phone number. While my parents do have a device, that's just what I opted for them. Okay, so this is going to be important here to follow this step. Connecting your calendar is great because you're going to be able to set up reminders of different maybe things that you have coming up. Your calendar will automatically remind you on your device, hey, you have a doctor's appointment. You're supposed to be meeting Fran for lunch, different things like that. This is also important because we are going to go over how to enable Zoom on your device. So I know that you guys were talking about that kind of when I popped in. That is a feature that is pretty great that we are able to utilize, but you will need to connect the calendar. There's an option to not connect it, but I highly suggest connecting the user's calendar because it makes it 10 times easier. So again, on the right-hand side, this is going to be my phone screen. So we're going to go ahead and tap on that Amazon Alexa app. And we're going to tap more on that bottom right. We're going to go to settings. And then we're going to scroll down to calendar and email under Alexa preferences and tap it. So you'll see it right around here.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to pause this.
Well,
So we're going to select the program that we would like to connect by tapping the plus sign next to the name. So if what you use and what your calendar uses is Google, for example, I have Gmail. That's something that I utilize a lot. Microsoft, I had that when I had a different program, Apple or Microsoft Exchange. So all the options are going to be right here for you. You're going to hit that plus sign.
well, that's good. You know, that's the old joke. Am I pregnant today? No, but I mean, yes, no, I wasn't yesterday. Well.
All right, so it's going to ask me if it's me. And so, yes, obviously it is. So I will say, yes, that's me, or I'm someone else. But there should be no reason that you should be anybody else. So you're going to connect as yourself. And we are going to go ahead and you can connect email if you want. This is just going to be for the purposes of calendar. But again, you are going to tap on that little slider. This light blue is going to mean that it's on or connected. The dark blue or kind of like dark background is going to mean it's not connected and it is off. When I've selected it to be on, I'm going to hit next. And it's going to open up a new window and prompt me to sign into my account. So for this purpose, I did not sign into my account. I don't want mine linked to my calendar or to my device. But once you put in your information, boom, you're connected, easy. And again, any of the number of devices you can go ahead and connect here. This is just showing me that my shared calendar that is connected is my husband's. So I know when he's on a photography job. And again, I have the ability, once I can see what's connected, to control whether birthdays are announced, whether it's just something that's on his calendar, not birthday related. It's pretty straightforward. All right. Reminders are going to be great. Again, you can go ahead and set them up. The other training goes ahead and goes through really how to utilize them, how to set one up. But this will just be enabling one for the user itself. So take your medicine, go to the doctor, make that phone call, check your email, do whatever you need to do. It's just a nice little extra thing to have that will display on the screen. So on the left-hand side, we're going to go ahead and open the Alexa app. Set a reminder will be right underneath this photo. I'm going to tap the plus sign to add it. This is going to go through and it's going to give me a few options. It's going to say send notifications to my phone, announce on all devices. Since I have multiple, that makes sense. And then I have the option for missed reminder notifications here or personal reminders, meaning it will differentiate between my voice or my husband's voice and say, oh, Megan, you have this, or Evan's calendar is connected. Evan, you have this. And then the missed notifications reminder is really going to be nice. Because if your phone is not your device, when a reminder sounds, you will also receive a notification on the screen or until you retrieve it. So again, you can kind of play around with these different options. It's really going to be what the user thinks is best. But for the purposes of this, I think it's important to get a notification on my phone in case maybe I'm not home and something is reminding me on my device. I also like it to be announced on all my devices, not that my apartment is very large, but if I were maybe in a multi-level home or one with multiple rooms, if I wasn't near the one device, it would announce it in the other room so I would not miss what was happening. So again, you see as I slide those things, it goes on, it goes off. This is just looking a little further into the missed reminder notifications. It will walk you through everything, very straightforward.
I can't take it now.
Again, switching on that personal reminder, switching off. So we're back at that plus sign. I'm going to click it and I'm going to say, remind me to take my medicine. I can select at a time or at a location. I will need to turn on my location settings if I am asking it to remind me when I'm at the gym or when I'm at my office. Here's my options to announce from which device. The date, just scroll up and down. I have the option to repeat it multiple times a day, weekly, yearly, custom. I can select the different time. And then once I'm done, I'm going to click save on that right-hand side and you're all set. All right, so here's options with Zoom. They have a lot on their website really about the capabilities and the different options that you can kind of approach it with. So I went ahead and I kind of talked about two on here. So once you've set up the device and you've connected your calendar like we did on slide 11, I'm not going to go through that again. We've already seen it. We're going to tell our device to open the Zoom app, and then it will give you on-screen instructions to sign in to the user's Zoom account. So I put in here, if they don't have an account, they can sign up for one by clicking that sign up. And if the user has forgotten their Zoom password, it can easily be reset by clicking the underlined word reset. It will take you right to the home page to go ahead and reset it. If they don't want to sign into their Zoom account, when the user asks the device to join the meeting, the device will prompt them for a meeting ID and passcode. We all know that those are like long and bunch of numbers, bunch of letters, all that stuff. So my suggestion would be to go ahead and sign into the Zoom account through the first option up here. It just makes more sense. So once they go ahead and they ask the device to connect to their Zoom meeting or this, that, and the other thing, they're going to go ahead and just be put right into the meeting as opposed to having to kind of like jump through hoops to get into the meeting itself. So when I provide the written instructions to you all, I'm going to go ahead and provide a whole like section of the Zoom and Amazon or Alexa kind of instructions, because there are a few different opportunities for you to be able to join the meeting in these different ways. And if you get the password and username wrong after one time, it's going to do X, Y, and Z. So I didn't want to put all of that on there because there are so many like if this then that scenarios. But my biggest suggestion would be just connecting that calendar, opening the Zoom app on the device, and then following the on-screen instructions to sign into the account, because it will be like, oh, hey, you have an upcoming meeting at 11 o'clock. So say it's Good Morning Howard or something, you know, you'll be able to just tap on it or ask to join the meeting and you will be in. I did see something come through. So
yeah, so Judy was asking about, do you need Zoom on the phone? You
Yep.
don't need Zoom on the phone necessarily, do you?
No, you do not. It's just
Set
going to
it up
be,
anywhere.
yeah, you can, it's going to ask you to set it up, kind of like sign into your account on the screen on the device. So on the Echo Show 8, you don't have to do it within your phone. I don't even think I have the Zoom app on my phone. So you should be fine. If I am wrong, I will definitely include that in my details. But as far as my understanding is, you do not need to have it on the phone. I know all these are like, download the app, do this, that, and the other thing, but I did not see that as a instruction for this part. So they will be able to connect with the device. I know kind of when I hopped in, and Michelle, you asked me right before I got a cough drop if, you know, I thought that it was easy to do it on the device, or, I mean, I always use my laptop for everything. It is a little bit, you know, bigger for me. It's easier for me to use, but I mean, maybe in an instance in which that is kind of your option for a screen, or I mean, maybe if you have it, like one of mine's in my kitchen, like my show is in my kitchen. So if I'm in there and, for example, when my grandma drops in, I'm cooking dinner, I can still talk to her and have that conversation. So maybe if you are trying to multitask and you still want to listen and not kind of have to carry your laptop if it is a little bit larger around, it is nice to be able to maybe be making breakfast and be able to be in the meeting at the same time. But I definitely do use personally my laptop a little bit more, but it is a nice backup to have. I think it's a good idea. Okay, so if you're in the other training, I went through these different accessibility options. I did not write step-by-step instructions for every single one of these because I know that not every single person is going to necessarily need all of these. If we do click on these underlined words, it will take you through and show you a step-by-step instruction for setting them up. Hang on, something just came through. So I have to put Zoom on my iPhone. Can you say enter Zoom? You don't have to, no, Judy, you don't need, wait, that's the newest question, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't need to put it on your iPhone. No. Once you have linked your Alexa device to the show 8 itself, your calendar is going to be connected. And then when you ask it to open Zoom, it will walk you through on the device, on the Echo Show 8, it will walk you through the instructions to join into Zoom and get yourself signed into the account. You do not need to have it on your phone as far as I understand.
Right, but can you activate the meeting just by voice?
You can, yeah. Once you've signed in to the account and all of that stuff, you can activate it by voice. That's the whole point of it. So you will say, join my meeting. That's why I definitely suggest having the calendar linked, because if you do not, you're going to have to give the device, once you say join the Zoom meeting. And again, that website I'm going to provide for you all, and the step-by-step instructions will have all the different terms you can say to get into the meeting and all those different things. But if you don't connect your calendar to it, it's going to ask you for the Zoom ID and passcode. And again, that's usually something that's like very, very long, I feel. So that's why I suggest just linking the calendar to it, because then you can say, join my meeting, and the meeting that's on your calendar, you're going to go right into without having to jump through those other hoops.
Let me also remind you that when we say you use a mobile device, you can use a phone or your tablet.
Yeah.
And I use my tablet for a lot of installation just because it's bigger and easier for me to see. I'm less likely to fat finger the wrong button. So.
Yeah. Yep. So again, this is going to be just different accessibility options. We're going to go through hearing, visual, vocal, and there was another one I forget. But these again are just going to be options that I don't foresee everyone needing every single one of them. So I did not want to go ahead and sit here and spend an hour going through each of these steps. But these are the different capabilities that are available to someone who may need them for different reasons. So again, if you click on any of these underlined words, call captioning, closed captioning, Alexa captioning, preferred speaking rate, it's going to go ahead and it will open up a link directly to the website that will show you how to enable those options step by step. And again, these are just something that it's really nice to have, that these things are offered for people who do need them. So here's going to be the options for hearing. Mobility. So you have the option here for Alexa routines, product information, creating shopping lists, connecting your smart plugs to go ahead and enable multiple things, ordering groceries or shopping on Amazon. For speech, real-time chatting, tap to Alexa, calling and messaging, and real-time text. Again, if you click on any of these, it's going to walk you through the step by step, but here is going to be your pretty top line of what each of these features will do. And then vision, show and tell, voice view screen reader, and magnifier. So these, again, I would suggest if any of the people that you are setting this up for need these, just click on it and go ahead and set up each one of these. Each of them are a little bit different, and I think that they are something that provides a lot of value. When creating lists in order to print, the printer will also need to be online. Okay, got it. All right, if your user would like to have do not disturb enabled, this will kind of mean a variety of things. So people won't be able to drop in. People won't be able to just voice or video call you. You will still have alarms and timers activated if do not disturb is on. So if you have set an alarm for 7 a.m. to wake up, it's still going to go off. If you have set a timer because you're cooking something, it's still going to go off. It's just going to prevent these other features from being able to happen. Again, that drop in, that voice or video call. So I would maybe suggest doing this when you're sleeping. It is not something that I think should necessarily be on all of the time, because we are using this device to stay connected with each other, to make life a little bit easier. So if you're just kind of shutting it off all the time, it just seems a little bit pointless. So again, I'm going to walk you through how to show your user really how to do this. So on the left-hand side, we are going to go ahead and open the Amazon Alexa app. And we'll tap devices. That's going to be right here. We're going to tap on the Echo and Alexa Show on the top left and tap the device name that we would like to turn it on for. All right, under General, you're going to see Do Not Disturb. You will click it. Again, light blue means on, that gray or dark background means off. You can schedule it, which is nice. So you can select different times and say, you know what, from 9:53 in the morning until 9 p.m. I don't want to be disturbed. I have something going on. I'm in an all-day meeting. I, need to catch up on sleep, whatever. You can go ahead and schedule it. So I think if your user is really excited to be able to kind of enable that feature, maybe scheduling it would be best. Again, because if it's always on, then you're taking away from multiple of those features and their ability to utilize them. So I definitely think that overnight and then just them knowing how to schedule, I think could be important if they are having friends or family over maybe, or they are going somewhere, or they are in a meeting and they don't want to be disturbed during that time period. I think it's a great feature to utilize. I saw a question come through. If video is turned off on the Echo, will a drop-in or call be heard or notification be seen to then turn on video? So if the video is turned off, meaning if Do Not Disturb is on, I do not believe that you'll get a notification that someone tried to drop in. I know for like my grandma turns it on often, and so when I try and drop in on her or video call or chat her, it will just say that she's unavailable to me. So that's kind of how I know that she has it on. I don't believe though that she gets a notification. I can double check on that, but I'm not 100% clear on that. But you shouldn't, I mean, the Do Not Disturb feature will allow you to not even know what's happening. So it won't be prompting you to turn it on or anything like that.
So Megan,
Yeah.
I a lot of times will just have, there's that little button on the top, and I just slide that on over so the video isn't there. So that's sort of what I was asking. So not actually putting a Do Not Disturb so much. So if someone tried to call me,
Right.
I wouldn't know about it then.
Yeah, so I think if you're just covering like with your little like button bobber thingy, I think
Yeah.
that you will get a notification. I mean, like for example, if somebody were to drop in and I'm not near my screen, I'll hear like the chime or the ding, and then usually I'll hear like my mom or grandma speaking into the house. It's a little weird, but they'll just all of a sudden be in my kitchen, and then I'll kind of like run over. So I believe
Okay.
that it will probably just prompt you to be like, hey, it's not open, because I believe in the beginning when we went through those colors, it meant something was off or unavailable. So you might see like a bar at the bottom just kind of being like, hey, turn on your
Oh, okay.
camera or
Okay.
something. But yeah, that's usually, I believe that you'll be able to just slide it over and they'll still be able to be in. That's not the same as like the do not
And
disturb.
there they will be when you slide it over.
Yeah, Judy.
Okay,
Judy,
all right, thank
excuse
you.
me. Judy Goldfarb has a question you need to unmute. Yeah.
Quickly though, we just got it going yesterday. Kim has been trying to make it ready for us.
Yeah.
And when I was scrolling on my phone later in the evening on Facebook, all of a sudden it spoke out and it says Judy's using her iPhone. and I thought to myself, I told her to stop,
Yeah.
and yet it kept doing that. So I wound up putting it on the off, the orange button comes up at the top,
Sure.
and that stopped it. But why is it doing that? I'm not talking to it. I was ignoring it.
Sure.
There I am using my iPhone and it's announcing.
Sure. That's strange. Were you by chance, were you watching when it announced it? Were you watching a video or something with audio on your Facebook page? Do you remember?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So sometimes that will happen to me because I will play music through mine and I will just ask it to connect to my iPhone like via Bluetooth to project sound basically.
It
so
says Bluetooth.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that could have been what happened. And that's why it started projecting through there, because you were connected to play through it. So in order to turn off, you could ask your device to disconnect from your iPhone. That is not going to disconnect your contacts or your calendar. That's just going to disconnect the audio option to play to that in terms of when you're on Facebook or when you're listening to music. Or you could simply just turn off the Bluetooth on your phone. So I have an iPhone. For me, that would look like swiping down from the top and hitting the little icon that means Bluetooth, and then just turning that off so I'm no longer connected to that device. So those are kind of your two options there. I hope that answers that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then I turn the Bluetooth back on my phone when I want it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it should. Yeah, exactly. Yep. It should disconnect after you've turned it off that one time. And then you'll have to, like, if you'd like to play audio through there from your phone, you should have to reconnect it then. So again, that could just be asking your device by its name to connect to your iPhone, or going on to your Bluetooth settings and clicking on the device to set back up that kind of pairing, if you will.
But if I'm using my Bluetooth from my phone to my car and I get in my car, I would have to turn that back on, correct?
If you've
Yeah.
turned it off, yeah. So I would maybe suggest the route taking here would just say, Alexa, disconnect from Judy's iPhone or my iPhone. It should recognize your voice, and then you will not be paired with that basically, but it will still be on. So when you get in your car, you won't have to sit there and click buttons and connect back to your car. The Bluetooth option will still be available. You will just be disconnected from that device specifically.
Yeah. Having said that, we have about 5 Echo devices, and every 2 or 3 weeks, one of them will make a pronouncement. And we don't know exactly why, but it's okay. They will tell us something, and we haven't quite figured out why, but it's like, thank you, Alexa, be quiet now. So
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So the last is going to be Amazon.com. Amazon.com ton of resources there. It is really a plethora of options when you say, you know, why is this happening on my Alexa or on my device? How do I connect this? How do I disconnect that? All of that lives on Amazon.com. It's great. It will also walk you through, aside from me providing you guys with the step-by-step process and the written documentation, it will also provide you all with the option to, you know, go through here and click how to set up a device for a loved one, and see these things there as well. So if it's something I didn't cover, and there will be troubleshooting at the bottom. So maybe I've done this, but this isn't happening. Click here. There's a ton of stuff on here. So I definitely suggest checking that, that out. I'm going to stop sharing my screen with you, and I'm going to see you all again and hopefully answer any other questions you all have. All right. What else do you have for me? Anything?
So the focus of this training, I just want to reemphasize, is more for a train the trainers type thing. This is not intended to be, you know, something that we then give to, I'll just choose a name, Janet Randall, who's 96. You know, this is not for her. I think what we need to do, this is essentially for people who are going to be providing some assistance to other users who are less sophisticated. One of the next steps we need to do is, I think, is figure out, I think what we want to do is we can print out this material for the volunteers and anybody else is going to be involved in that. But I think beyond that, we're also going to have to look to see how we can produce some very basic primers for our actual users. And because, you know, this is, the goal of this is setting up the capacity to do this. It's not what you're going to do for a lot of things on day-to-day stuff. So for example, I assume that, you know, I haven't looked into the do not disturb myself, but I'm assuming once it's set up, you can simply issue a voice command and say, Alexa, enable do not disturb. And so that's different from the setup. So we've got to develop two different types of documentation, one for people that are more sophisticated and who are going to provide assistance, and others for people who need assistance.
Right. Yeah. And I think, you know, with the other training that we did, that was more focused on like the step-by-step from like, here's the capabilities as a user. Say this word, do that, do this, to enable this, to take this action. So I am definitely planning to provide the documentation for that training that we did, I think a couple weeks ago at this point, as well, so that we can, you know, say, hey, you're just going to say this and this will happen. Once you know, handed it to the user itself, versus the people who are in here will hopefully be setting it up for people and getting them all good to go.
There's also a site called voicebrew.com, which will send you a kind of a nice tip of the day. And there's some nice features in it that they send out. Then they have a library of things that they've developed. So if somebody wants to really see how they can customize it, going beyond some basic commands that we're going to start people on, we can use that to broaden the capability, the capacity of the device to individual users. And at some point, you know, let's say we've identified half a dozen basic commands that we want to get people started with. As a group among us, we might want to look into these other features and say, you know what, this one looks really pretty neat. And we could make that information available to our user community. For example, one thing that I found out that we have a SiriusXM account for our car radio, and you can activate it to work on have SiriusXM activate on your Echo. So that's kind of a neat thing, but it's not something we need to start people off on.
Fran, I saw you raise your hand and you had a question with somebody on the phone.
Yeah, Fred has a question. Fred?
Are you ready, everybody?
Yes.
What we heard today is good for trainers, but it's overwhelming for those people that are just starting out. And as Peter said, we need to have two sets of things. But I got an email yesterday from Amazon saying there's some security things you could do. You could tell your Echo device to erase everything you did for the day, and it will do it. In other words, it records everything you do. And when you don't want it to be done, you can ask it to remove it. That's a feature now on the security with the Echo devices. And also, it has the capability of connecting to your Ring doorbell out front. I can say, talk to my front doorbell, and it opens up who's out there, and I can talk to them, which is a real nice feature. Any type of security camera you have out front can be paired with the show, and you can see them on the show rather than on a computer or a laptop.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I agree with you. We, in the other training, and again, I know not everyone was in it. We did go through how, and we'll provide a link to that training once again to everyone here. But we did go over how to maybe connect different devices, being the Nest or the Ring Cam or different things like that. And yes, totally, absolutely correct about the security. I found that I'm able to, it's easiest for me to kind of access those features on Amazon.com. When I'm signed into my account, I can go ahead and set up different things for my devices there. But that is a very good point. It is a nice option to have to be able to kind of clear it and wipe it and get rid of it. Cool. Anybody else questions?
Any other questions?
Thoughts? No?
What is that? What's Ron doing?
Ron?
I'm brushing the flies away. My question is Jeff Bezos taking over the world?
Maybe.
You got the wrong one. If you follow this what's her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Green,
Oh
yeah.
my
It's
gosh.
the now it's the Rothschilds
Oh,
that are
yeah.
using space lasers to take over the world.
Okay.
Wait, Judy, 1 minute. I want to add one thing about the security and deleting. When I first set up my my Echo just about a year ago, I set it up to delete frequently. And then I was frustrated because it wasn't learning my my TED Talk preferences and my music preferences. And then, so it hit me between the eyes. Oh yes, this is artificial intelligence. If I don't keep its memory going, it's not going to remember that I like a certain J-Lo album or a New World Symphony or TED Talk about exercise. So I sort of came back from that. I want a lot of privacy I want Echo to learn what I like, and then I can use it better. Sorry, go ahead, Judy.
No, I was going to add, we are both the user type. We're not the trainer type. And so Kim has been so gracious to try to set up the Echo so that he could pass it on to us. So I can speak for us. We do look forward to handouts, to further simple training, and our attitude is it will come. I mean, yesterday we didn't even know what it looked like. And this morning we're each giving it orders. I'm giving it orders last night. So we have faith that it will take time.
Oh, good.
And I just want to say thank you
Yes.
for introducing this and making it possible.
That's awesome.
Yes.
You'd be surprised how much you're gonna like, well, maybe not rely on it, but I recently was at my friend's house and, we were getting ready to leave and I said, Alexa, turn off the lights. And she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, and they're all responding to me. But it was just funny because she's like, I don't have one of those. And I was like, oh, damn, that's right. I forget, like, it just becomes so dependent to do things for me. I just demand things and order her around. It's terrible.
Dictator.
We have our first little dot.
Oh, yeah.
Upstairs in Aaron's loft, and that has the other name.
Yep.
And this one I'm waiting for them to start talking to one another.
Yeah, it'll happen. Awesome. Any other questions or thoughts? I see Jane.
Yeah, just to let you know, we figured out a video call with the Gold Farms last night.
Nice.
And
That's
we were
awesome.
able to get video on there after working on it.
Good.
So
Good job.
nice.
Nice. Okay. Any Cheryl? I see your hands up.
Okay, I just have a comment.
Yep.
I have an Alexa do the laundry sign in my laundry room, but she doesn't seem to understand. Can you help me with that?
That's because it's written. You have to say it.
Oh,
Oh, I do. She says, I don't have that in, or whatever it is that they say, you know.
That's
So,
funny.
the next iteration will be thinking it and then having it do it.
Well, yeah, that's when you have the barcode on your sleeve.
Yeah.
And the electrodes implanted.
Inserting the chip in your body, right?
I've done that in Sweden. I think it was Sweden that they had people's IDs and everything in a chip, and they had it inserted under their skin, and they can walk into shops and everything, and their ID is scanned. So careful what you talk about.
Yeah.
The technology exists to do these
Yeah.
things.
Careful what you think.
I'm sorry. When we were first talking about implementation, we talked about having a user group, and I'm hoping that in the next couple of months we can think about establishing that user group in time, so people with questions, comments,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
who need a little bit of tech support, encouragement, or who want to learn a couple more skills, they would have a resource group to talk to. Are we there yet?
Not really.
Okay.
But I did give Cheryl an article for the upcoming newsletter, and the thought just occurred to me, we might want to have a Dear Alexa comment column. And so as we do get users, maybe we can have people submit questions and provide answers for how to do it.
You could call it Dear Abby, right?
Yeah, dear Alexa.
Dear Alexa.
Of course, of course.
I get emails because I had a little Alexa dot before I set up my Alexa show that I won. Yay. And it would say, once a week I get these hints, remember Alexa will do this and Alexa will do that. It's really nice because otherwise you just kind of forget it and you use it for the weather.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool.
Yeah, I have.
Cheryl.
I also have it set up so I get up in the morning and I get my coffee going and I ask Echo, start my day, and I have already programmed it so that I get NPR news brief and CNN news brief and the financial word of the day or something, so and it goes on for about maybe 3 minutes, I think, but that's how I start my day, is with Echo.
Okay.
That's cool. Fran, I see your hand.
Fred?
I have a suggestion. We publish the newsletter once a month. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And if we do, why not put in the newsletter each month 2 skills that the Echo could do and how to do it?
That's a good idea.
Not overwhelming. In other words, it provides just 2 basic skills that this unit can do and how to do it.
I think that gets back to having a user group, because if you don't have a user group to identify which are the useful tips, then it's just 1 or 2 people that just think, well, this is great. It can give me, it can give me the odds on the horses at Hialeah or something, but that might not be terribly appealing to other users. So I think I think one of the things we may want to do maybe in the next newsletters is start recruiting people for a user group to come up with some ideas about what we should be putting out in terms of tips and tricks.
Okay. Okay.
Does everybody that's on this call now have a copy of not of the material, have an Echo show, or does somebody need one?
Fran, have you set yours up? Fran Lorenzi? Okay.
No, I'm still looking at it from afar.
Okay.
But
Well, plug it in
But I
today.
do that. But I do that with all my new electronics. I looked at my Mac. I really did. I looked at my MacBook for a month and a half before I set it up. So that's just
Okay.
a friend.
Well, there's an old computer joke about how people want to set up a massive computer with incredible amounts of data and sophisticated algorithms to answer the ultimate questions of the universe. And after spending hundreds of years trying to load all this information, they pose the question, is there a God? And the computer answers, there is now.
It's sort of, I think, therefore I am, okay? Descartes.
Yeah.
Does anybody know anybody that they would want to encourage to participate in this? Because we've got plenty of supply.
When I did some of my surveys for the pods, there were 2 or 3 people who said, yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it. Now, they're not the people that we necessarily think are frail, that might need more of the connections, but they have the receptivity.
Well,
So-
and the original thinking was let's get these out to full members, but a lot of the full members are among the people that are reluctant. So I've got 34 of these things sitting in my hallway. So I mean, we're not short on supply. So at this point, I'd rather get users, whether they're full members or not.
And you could always say that it's possibly a loan, and if some other people come up who need it, who are full members.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest that you start to offer to folks to say on a notice or something in the forum or whatever, want to try it? Are you curious? And then see where it goes from there. I mean, technology can be a real turnoff because of fears of yet another thing I've got to learn. And as I said, we've agreed we're going slowly. We'll take it as it comes. But I'm wondering if you advertise it again, and I know, Pete, you have, let them know we're willing to help you learn. See if it will help you live your daily life. So just the thought that the newsletter, as Fred had mentioned, and then I think if people see it in the newsletter, as you described, I think it'll perk interest, because then people will say, what am I missing?
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. And there's a real marketing reason why drug dealers always give you free samples.
Oh, for goodness sake, Fran.
Just saying.
You could put it on sale.
They're free. How does it get
That's
more on
right.
sale than that?
Well, like the Fed is doing with the rates.
Okay. All right. So Megan, you're going to send the informational materials to me, and I'll get them out there.
Yep. I should have those to you by this afternoon.
Okay.
Awesome.
And we're still waiting for an ad because Facebook is reviewing the ad. Is it the ad for meditation?
Yep.
Which you submitted about 5 or 6 days ago.
About 5, yeah.
Yeah. When we had a discussion of Facebook a week or so ago, people were afraid that things just float through Facebook. It's amazing. amazingly incorrect, but here we have an ad that we're trying to do to promote virtual meditation, and it's taking them a long time to review it. And when we did the ad for Jim Sanders' workshop on managing COVID, that took a week. So yes, Facebook is becoming more careful about what information gets shared. And I'm actually glad about that, even though it's a little bit of a pain in the ass.
They got a sensor going with it too, you know. I
Mm.
mean, a
Yeah.
Facebook sensor, like
It's
review
good.
or whatever, right?
Yeah, I don't mind the review process. I think it's good,
No.
except for
Yeah.
when it's something that it's not what they think it is, then I have to ask them 10 times for it, but it's fine. Those are issues I have, but no, it's great. So hopefully that'll be approved soon. Some of my ads took a while this month as well, so I'm not surprised by that, but yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you both. Nice
Thank you,
job.
everybody, for
Yes,
coming.
thank you. This is good.
Thank you.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
All right.
Thank you.